let's talk about this thing. This will be a little bit weird of a video because we did a bit of work on this thing and we've worked on it over the years. I tuned it as well. We'll get into all the details, but we wanted to try to get this thing hammered out, so we didn't really film much about it. But it is a cool car. It's very unique. It is a 100% purpose-built Mark V race car. So it has lots of cool stuff on it. Clayton and I kind of talked about it. We do have some footage of it at the track and the dyno numbers when we dynoed it before and stuff. So we figured let's try to check together a video to kind of show you what it takes to make one of these a dedicated race car. Did I cover that good enough, Clayton?
Covered it good. So what were the reasons why it was here this time anyway?
It was here. It got in a little bit of a accidente.
Maybe I'll put some pictures in.
Oh, you got pictures?
And we got some pictures.
Cool. So I needed to redo, I did the intercooler setup on this before, and I needed to redo the intercooler and a portion of the charge piping. This stuff was kind of still salvageable. And I had done the catch can setup and stuff on it before. But the main reason it was here this time was to fix up the oil pan because the catch can I have drained back to the oil pan, and to do a new front mount intercooler setup on it. Because, actually, pause. Unpause. So this was some of the stuff. As you can see, the tank got torn apart and it's all bent and both ends are pretty mangled.
Oh, yeah.
And then the charge piping, all the charge piping. Oh yeah, there's another hole here in the end tank, and the charge piping was all mangled as well. So
yeah, it was in a pretty serious accident. So which is not super uncommon for road racing and everything else, but yeah, unfortunate.
Yeah, so in this case, we could have potentially repaired this, but with the amount of holes that it has and this part of it being crushed in, to spend all the time trying to fix it and then pressure test it and notice it's leaking somewhere else, it just didn't make sense for the cost. And just for folks, this car would run, actually race out at the track that Clayton and I usually run his Mark I. So we usually do just lapping and time attack in his car. This is actually a race car.
Door to door stuff.
Exactly. So let's go through some of the things that's on this car. Let's start with the power in the engine. So this is, although this is a front wheel drive GTI, this actually has a Golf R long block, so a little bit stronger. It is an FSI. It is running the KO4 as well. And we tuned this thing a good handful of years back with United Motorsport, and it has the fully loaded file with all the features. So you can literally log in with VAGCOM and change the octane you want to run, change the boost you want to run. It's very, very slick and very simple for these guys at the track to make really quick changes. Power-wise, I'd have to look at the dyno because it's been quite a few years. We dynoed it on my buddy's dyno before I had mine. And I believe on 91, it made like 325 and like 389 torque.
Yeah,
it was pretty crazy.
Yep.
But the real numbers will be here because I don't remember, but I do have the dyno sheets for it. So that takes care of the power. It is just a stock engine with a KO4 and good software. Some other things, it does have an oil cooler, an upgraded radiator as well, both CSF. The oil cooler has obviously you can see the remote oil filter as well. That's obviously not where it goes. Just needs to be relocated, but again, the car's not in race mode yet. It's still got lots of things to connect and hook up and put back together, like my jazz hands, like always. So before we get into the suspension part of it, the wheels and tires and brakes, Clayton. It's a set of Luftons with some big boy discs, 2-piece. These are 4-piston?
I believe so. They have a couple different options for that, as well as the tire setup on this often does change depending on what class they want to run. So they go between Nitto NT01s, Nankang AR1s, which are new for them this year. And also they have run Hoosiers as well, but depending on what class they want to run in, they can break out of a certain class. So that's why they switch the tires up depending, and also the wear of the tires as well to run within certain brackets.
And don't forget the cost of the tires, because the Hoosiers are obviously going to be the most expensive, the stickiest, but come at a higher price point, and a lot of time, not all the guys want to run those.
And the other thing to add as well is that faster times mean more wear and tear on the entire setup.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing is you want to run fast, that's awesome, but you end up spending a lot more money on the wear and tear.
So, okay, so that covers the brakes, the wheels and tires. Suspension. KWs, I think they were built, it's like a race-specific set. It wasn't like an off-the-shelf set. I think they went to them and said, this is the car we're running, build us a coilover for it. So, very serious coilover setup. In regards to the cage, this would be like an SFI certified cage. There's a lot to it. I didn't build this cage, but I have built these cages. I know you guys don't see a lot of fabrication stuff on this channel really, but Clay maybe can add in some pictures of the last one of these I did for another car that's hopefully going to see the track this year out there, right?
Yeah.
It's another
hopefully.
Mark V.
Yep.
Cage is almost identical to this.
Yep.
A lot of work goes into building a roll cage for one of these things, especially meeting all the rules and requirements for it to pass and be legal out there to race.
And safe.
And safe, yeah. Obviously, upgraded seat, upgraded steering wheel. It does have a Motec dash, which is doing all their data logging. The transmission, I'm jumping all around here, but
Stock, but they do have some, I forget
what
what
diff's in it.
diff, but
Yeah.
it's something not normal.
I don't remember now.
Yeah, we'll add it in.
Yeah, we'll add it in. So inside the car,
Schroth harnesses, which are usually the go-to, which
Yeah.
is nice.
Schroth harnesses, fire
Courtesy.
suppression.
Yep.
Back here, big wang.
Yeah, that's new for the guys out there. A lot of guys are
He
doing
said
aero.
they had
I've
it
seen-
last year.
They did, but a lot of guys are going aero now, where wasn't
this-
super popular at our track.
This one is, what is it called again?
Don't know.
Yeah, you
I
do.
think it's from Europe.
No, it's the same one. Same brand.
It's Nine Live Racings?
Yes, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think?
Nope, it's not.
Man, I don't know.
It's not Nine Lives.
Okay, cool.
But Nine Lives does make some awesome stuff, so this isn't a plug. They
That's
don't
the same
sponsor
one
us.
I got, or that's the same one that's going on the other Mark V too.
Not Nine Lives.
Okay, if it's not 9 Lives, but that is the same one that's out there.
Cool.
So back of the car, yeah, lots of roll bars, like a jungle gym back there.
Needs to
Clayton
be.
probably has lots of B-roll and stuff like that. What else are we forgetting? Well, the suspension and stuff.
Yeah, all the suspension,
The control
spherical
arms.
control arms, and the transmission mount, and
Upgraded spindles, they switched to TT spindles,
I think wider track because of that.
right? Custom control arms. Basically everything's spherical bearings. On the control arms, the end links, rear sway bar end links, all that stuff is upgraded. I will say it is filthy right now. We're not doing this car any justice. It's not completed and ready to run the season yet. Obviously, it had an accident. The fenders are off it, and it was raining when he dropped it off. But, you know, this was kind of a car that you guys probably, not many people would have seen a full-blown Mark V race car and what kind of goes into it. So we just wanted to share and give this thing a little bit of a spotlight. Is that the right word?
A little bit of spotlight. And there's
Little
another
spotlight?
reason for that too is this car's pretty well known in our community, and a good reason for that. The guy that actually built this car and owned Vantage Motors unfortunately passed away last year, and their team has continued on with this build, and Derek was one of the longest members of the track and just an extremely awesome guy within the Volkswagen community, within the racing community, just all around. So it's very unfortunate.
His car continues on, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And I think Derek had mentioned previously, like I think since AMP opened, our local track, I think he was there like every race weekend since the beginning when that opened.
Yep.
And it's been like, I don't know how many years that track's been open.
Yep.
Longer than my life, maybe.
Since
a long time.
Since the 70s. So yeah, we heard some really great stories from Derek, and yeah, definitely missed. But you know, the car lives on, and you know, the racing, and
so they're going to continue on with it, obviously, and the accident was just a minor setback, and you know, we'll put some footage of the car racing now for you guys to enjoy.
I'm going to ask you. So that pretty much wraps up for this. So what are we missing?
I don't know. There's probably a million things on this car that we're missing.
100%.
But we wanted to just, again, show you guys what kind of goes into this thing. We'll probably have more footage of it as summer rolls on, and you know, we'll get to see this thing doing what it does best at the track. And maybe we'll have it on the dyno again someday too. But until then, if you guys have any questions or comments, as always, ask them below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And Clayton,
see you in the next video.
See you in the next video.
What's that up there? Another race car?
Nope, none of those. How did I just start talking and go right into it? Now I fucking don't even know what I was saying. But the real meat and the potatoes? Meat and potatoes?
Yeah, meat in the meal.
Meat and the potatoes? I don't know what the statement is.
Meat in the curtains.
No, not that, Clayton. Okay, we got to do that over again.